So how I'd like you to submit this file once you have your bird animated is I'd like you to submit it as an FBX file. And so in order to, we need to export an FBX from here. So let me show you what this looks like. And if you have a control rig, FBXs are a little bit particular. So if you have a control rig, the first thing you're going to want to do is select this joint hierarchy. And you're going to want to select the top root joint. And then you're going to want to say select hierarchy. So that way we're selecting everything in the hierarchy. We want to, actually, we're probably going to want to open this all up because if you have a control rig that has controllers and constraints, we don't want to be selecting the constraints. And so I want to open the whole, let me go back, something happened. There we go. So I want to open up everything here. And I think I want to deselect all of the controls. I just did this again. I'm like clicking the wrong thing. Let me open up everything. Part of this joint hierarchy are also the constraints. So let's go in and I'm going to command or control deselect these constraints. These are the constraints that are attaching the controllers to this different joints. And let's make sure everything in the hierarchy has been selected. That is a joint and looks like it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I can either go to my animation menu set here and go under key and say bake simulation, or I want to go to edit and say keys and bake simulation. So let's make sure we're on the first frame. And let's go to, again, edit, keys, bake simulation. Let's go to the options here. And I think the default settings are fine. What we're going to do is say bake. And what that'll do is that'll create a key at every, that will create a key at every frame on every joint. Okay. So that bakes the animation from the controls into the joints. And then what I'll want to do is select the joints and then also I'm going to select these. I just want the joints and I want the mesh, and I'm going to go up to file and say export selection. So I want just the mesh. I don't want any of the controls or constraints. And I'm going to say file, export selection here. And I want to export it as an FBX export. So I select FBX. And if you don't have this option, let me show you how to find it. Going under Windows, Settings, Preferences, Plugin Manager. You want to scroll down until you find a plugin that is called FBX Maya Bundle. So load that or auto load it if you don't have it. And this is how you're going to be able to export to FBX. So when you say file, export selection, and if you don't see an FBX export option here, again, go to that Windows Settings, Preferences, Plugin Manager and find this plugin to load. Once I do that, I'm going to say export selection. And then here, I'm going to export this as an FBX. I want to make sure here that I have animation turned on and bake animation turned on, and that's fine. So we want to, everything else I think will be okay. And then I'm going to name this project 3, or you're going to name it your name, or you're going to name it the name of your bird. And then you just say export selection. I'm going to export this just to my desktop and say export selection. Okay. And now if I go to open my scene, I'm going to actually create a new scene here. And I'm going to say file, import, so we can see desktop. Let's import this FBX file. Okay. Now this is for some reason has been turned on. So let's make that visible. And now if we play this, right, this is what I want to have. I just have my skeleton now again. So I don't have my control rig. And this is perfect. And this is what I'd like to have submitted to me as an FBX file, just like this.